Today's recipe is a very nice small diced meat recipe, which makes the meat incredibly tender and very soft and dissolves in your mouth. Actually, this is a great recipe for family gatherings when your guests come in, and the most beautiful side of it is cooking is not, but the preparation is exactly 10 minutes. When I make it in my Turkish channel, the original recipe gets into this clay pot, a bigger one as well. But the thing about these clay pots, they preserve heat very much and they distribute the heat in the oven or on the stove top very well. And they keep it hot for a long time. So if you don't have a clay one, what is the alternative? It's gonna be the cast iron one. So we're gonna make this in this cast iron pan. If you have a griddle one, still it will work. Very simply turn this on and I will heat it a bit. While it's heating, I'm going to prepare a few things. First, I'm going to put the butter in. It's gonna season the pan a bit. For this recipe, I have used butter instead of tail fat. Normally, when we do it in Turkey, we use the tail fat, but it's usually hard to find, I know, everywhere in the world. So if you use a tail fat, first we have to put the tail fat slowly for about 15 minutes. It will spread its oil. Then we're gonna put all the rest of the stuff in. And I have here about 10 cloves of garlic, 2 green peppers, 1 red pepper, 1 whole onion, and 3 tomatoes. I'm going to coarsely chop all of them. When this is ready, I'm almost ready. I go back to my pan. My butter has melted. So I'm going to put the meat in first. Season it a bit with a bit of salt and a bit of black pepper. Distribute the meat. Make sure that it gets seasoned with butter and salt and black pepper. Then I add rest of my veggies. The beautiful thing about Turkish cooking is you include a lot of veggies while cooking, and the meat works in such a way that, like, this is a half a kilo of meat. This will feed at least 6-8 people very well. Normally, if you have a meat dish, you will need at least 200 grams per person, but this way it's not like that, and it is as tasty or maybe even more because it's a bit acidic, especially the onion, and also the tomato will soften and then tenderize the meat, of course. Now the garlic. The original recipe coming from Antakya region does something very simple, and I like what it does. It says that first put the garlic with a bit of salt and beat the garlic a bit. This beating the garlic pops the cells, so the garlic, the juices, the oil can get out very easily, adding more taste to the food. For example, if I do this and then chop, or if I directly chop, it doesn't work that way. I do not score the garlic as much. In a dish where every taste gets into one another, I need this more. So that's what it does. We gather the garlic. As you can see, a lot of garlic. My whole knife is in. What is really important is when you're pushing the garlic, sometimes with the knife, from the back of the knife to the front. Don't do the reverse one. From the back of the knife to the front. Why? You might cut your fingers. Anyways. Together with the garlic, the rest of the herbs. Everything is a teaspoon. Teaspoon of salt. I salted the meat a bit, so I'm going to add a little less. Teaspoon of black pepper. The salt was heaped teaspoon. The rest is normal teaspoon. And some thyme and some red pepper gets in. It could be sweet or it could be hot. It could be smoked as well. Smoked would be also nice. So what's happening? As you can see, I'm on a very low heat. Everything is almost done. In where you live, if you have tomato puree, use tomato puree. If you have tomato paste, a tablespoon of tomato paste, put this in, 200 milliliters of water. If you have a tomato puree, use 300 milliliters of tomato puree and it will be enough. Turkish food uses a lot of tomato paste. Why it does that? Because ripe tomato is very high on umami. So adding it to any food makes the taste of the food much better. So it is ready. I have a baking paper. This makes it easily foldable. That's why I crinkle it first and then fold it again and again, always from the same corner, and then make a triangle like this, another one. The smaller, the more rounder it's gonna look. From the center to the side, I'm going to cut this piece like this. Okay, the oven is 220 degrees and I'm going to put this in Because the meat that I've used is veal, and it's the round part of the veal, which is thighs and the muscles. It is a chewy part of the animal. To make it soft, we have to do two things. Slowly cook it, which is we're gonna cook it at least an hour. Secondly, we don't want it to lose its water. That's why we covered the top. And then it's gonna be ready to dip our pide in and eat it perfectly. Today I have made this recipe with veal, but you can also use lamb. Usually the lamb and the tail fat, they're gonna go great together. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is our pide from a day before. When a bread is not so great a day before, you wet it well and then put it in the oven and it will feel like a freshly out of the bakery bread. And this is the sound. Nice. And our deliciousness is here. Normally, we would eat this with pilav or just directly with pide. You can eat it with potatoes. You can eat it with bulgur as well. Now, here comes the sun. Da-da-da-dum. Bahar used to collect these and she said that one day she's gonna make exhibition with them. Now, as you can see, this beautiful thing has a bit of water with all the veggies and things. It is incredible. And always some fresh parsley would be great. And some last minute coarsely grinded black pepper on top. Great. How do we eat this normally? We take a piece of the nice bread and soak it in like this. Soaking is very, very important because this is the taste. And I'll show you the meat. The meat is here. This is greatness wrapped in bread. And in Turkish cooking, you eat it from the middle. Your fingers touches the food, feels the warmth, and before it gets into your mouth, how it looks, the smell, the touch, like fajita, you get that experience through this food as well. Because it's Ramadan, we're not eating, guys, sorry about that, but this is how it is perfect. You can prepare it in the morning. If you're gonna break your fast, just put it in the oven just 1 hour before and it will be ready. Hope you've enjoyed. If you have enjoyed it, you know what to do. Leave a comment, subscribe, put a heart, thumbs up, and any kind of support. Financially, we're not in a really good place in Turkey right now, so financial support would also be great. Anyways, everywhere in the world, I know it's the same situation, so I'm just fooling around. Thank you guys so much. Lots of love. Take care.